What are AI risks? AI safety versus AI ethics. What are the real risks of AI? That sounds like a simple question, but the AI world gives two very different answers. One answer says the danger is in the future. A future AI system may become too powerful. A bad actor may use AI to create catastrophic harm, or an alien form of machine intelligence may emerge. Something smarter than humans, but not aligned with human survival. This is the AI safety view. The other answer says the danger is already here. AI is already being used in hiring, education, policing, healthcare, media, workplaces, and public services. It is already trained on people's data. It already reproduces bias. It already generates false information. It already threatens artists, writers, translators, coders, and other workers. It already allows companies to automate decisions while avoiding responsibility. This is the AI ethics view. So the debate is not simply about whether AI is dangerous. Almost everyone agrees that AI can be dangerous. The real question is, dangerous how, dangerous when, dangerous to whom, and dangerous because of what? To understand the first answer, we need to begin with existential risk. Nick Bostrom uses the term X-risk as shorthand for existential risk. This does not simply mean a very large disaster. It means a risk that threatens the long-term survival or potential of humanity itself. Bostrom distinguishes this from ordinary disasters, even very serious ones. A war, a financial crisis, or a natural disaster may be terrible, but humanity can recover. These are endurable risks. But an existential risk is different. It is terminal. It means a catastrophe from which humanity does not recover. The history of our species either ends or its future potential is permanently and drastically reduced. That is why Bostrom's framework separates risks by two dimensions. First, the scope of the risk. Is it personal? Is it local? Is it global? Second, the intensity of the harm. Is it endurable or is it terminal? A personal car accident may be fatal for one person, but it is not an existential risk. A regional economic collapse may be devastating, but it is still not an existential risk. Even global crises such as climate change or ozone depletion may be globally dangerous, but they are not necessarily terminal in Bostrom's sense. Existential risk sits in the most extreme corner, global in scope, terminal in intensity. Examples include total nuclear war, engineered pandemics, runaway superintelligence, or other events that could permanently end the human future. This is the intellectual background of the AI safety school. Its central fear is not just that AI may cause harm. Its fear is that AI may become an existential threat. There are two major versions of this fear. The first is the bad actor scenario. A rogue state uses AI to build cyberweapons. A terrorist group uses AI to design biological threats. A criminal network uses AI for mass fraud. An authoritarian regime uses AI for surveillance and propaganda. A military power uses AI for autonomous weapons. In this scenario, AI is dangerous because it amplifies human intent. The machine does not need to be evil. The humans are enough. AI simply gives dangerous actors more speed, more scale, and more capability. The second fear is the alien intelligence scenario. This is the deeper fear in much of the AI safety literature. The worry is that a future artificial general intelligence or superintelligence may not think like us. It may not share our values. It may pursue goals we did not intend. It may optimize the world in a way that makes sense to the machine, but is disastrous for humans. This is the fear associated with Bostrom's superintelligence. Once machine intelligence exceeds human intelligence, the central problem becomes control. If we build something more capable than ourselves, how do we make sure it remains aligned with human values? That is the AI safety question. How do we control the future machine? How do we prevent loss of control? How do we stop existential catastrophe? This is why the AI safety school talks about alignment, superintelligence, runaway systems, and human extinction. Its nightmare is not just a chatbot giving bad advice. Its nightmare is a future system that humans can no longer understand, contain, or stop. But now comes the second answer. The AI ethics school does not begin with the far future. It begins with the present. It asks, why are we talking about alien intelligence when existing companies are already deploying opaque systems today? Why are we worried about a future machine escaping human control when many people already have no control over how AI affects their lives? For AI ethics scholars, the central problem is not a future superintelligence. The central problem is powerful institutions using imperfect systems now. Companies, governments, platforms, employers, schools, hospitals, police departments, public agencies. And this concern is not just theoretical. A 2023 survey of G7 countries on generative AI risks showed that governments were not primarily worried about remote macroeconomic scenarios, such as job losses, as the most urgent and fatal risks. Their most pressing concerns were more immediate. The top concern was false information and information manipulation, deepfakes, fake news, election interference, social confusion, the destruction of trust. The second major concern was rights infringement and data ethics, intellectual property violations, unauthorized use of creative work, privacy violations, leakage of personal data. Other concerns included safety risks, bias and discrimination, cybersecurity threats, fraud, and illegal activity. Interestingly, employment disruption, social polarization, and inequality were ranked lower as immediate concerns. This is important. It shows that even governments looking at generative AI often see the most urgent risks, not as distant superintelligence, but as present social trust, rights, and data problems. That is very close to the AI ethics perspective. AI ethics asks, who built this system? Whose data was taken? Who labeled the data? Who was exposed to toxic content to make the system safer? Who owns the model? Who profits from it? Who is harmed when it fails? Who is accountable? These are less cinematic questions than will AI destroy humanity, but they are more immediate. And this is where one famous phrase enters the debate: stochastic parrot. It sounds funny, almost too funny, like a drunk bird at a casino. But the phrase became one of the most important criticisms of modern AI. It comes from the paper On the Dangers of Stochastic Parrots, written by Emily Bender, Timnit Gebru, Angelina Macmillan-Major, and Margaret Mitchell. Their argument was direct. Large language models do not understand the world. They do not know truth, they do not know meaning, they do not know law, medicine, history, ethics, politics, or human intention. They predict language. Given a prompt, they generate words that are statistically likely to come next. That is why they can sound fluent. That is why they can write essays, emails, poems, code, summaries, and fake legal documents. But fluency is not understanding. A parrot can repeat a sentence. A stochastic parrot can generate a new sentence that sounds plausible, but neither one necessarily knows what the sentence means. And this matters because humans are very easy to fool with language. When something speaks fluently, we assume there is a mind behind it. When it sounds confident, we assume it knows. When it uses professional language, we assume it has expertise. When it says something politely, we assume it has judgment. But a large language model can sound like a lawyer without understanding law. It can sound like a doctor without understanding medicine. It can sound like a therapist without understanding suffering. It can sound like a teacher without understanding the student. It can sound like a person without being a person. That is the danger of the stochastic parrot. Not that it secretly wants power, but that we give it power. Not that it understands the world, but that we treat it as if it does. The stochastic parrot paper raised several kinds of risks. First, environmental costs. Bigger models require more computation, more data centers, more electricity, and more energy extraction. The benefits may go to wealthy companies and wealthy users, while the costs are often pushed onto communities that benefit least. Second, research priorities. If the whole field becomes obsessed with making language models bigger and bigger, other approaches may be neglected. Documentation, careful curation, value-sensitive design, smaller models, domain-specific systems, and socially useful AI may receive less attention. Third, unknown, dangerous biases. Large models are trained on vast datasets from the web, but the web is not neutral. It contains stereotypes, hate speech, misinformation, low-quality text, and structural bias. If these patterns are absorbed into the model, the output may reproduce them in polished and authoritative form. Fourth, deception. A language model generates probable responses, not necessarily accurate answers. But humans tend to attribute meaning and intention to text. So the model can produce misinformation not because it wants to deceive, but because its output sounds meaningful enough to be believed. That is the core warning. The stochastic parrot may be empty inside. No subject, no understanding, no inner life. But the outer performance can still be convincing. And that is enough to cause harm. Take a legal chatbot. For a rich company, AI may be a useful drafting tool. Human lawyers can review the output. Mistakes can be caught. But for a poor person who cannot afford a lawyer, the chatbot may become the lawyer. It may produce a document that looks professional. It may use legal language. It may sound authoritative. But if it is wrong, the user may not know until damage is done. The same is true in medicine. A chatbot can sound clinical. It can produce calm, confident, well-structured advice. But sounding medical is not the same as being medically reliable. The same is true in therapy. A chatbot can imitate empathy. It can say comforting things. It can respond in the style of care. But imitation of care is not care. It has no duty, no responsibility, no professional judgment, no human relationship to the person in distress. This is where AI ethics becomes sharp. The danger is not only that AI will replace humans. The danger is that AI will replace humans unequally. Rich people get human doctors, human lawyers, human tutors, and human therapists. Poor people get automated systems that sound human enough. That is not democratization, that is stratification. A two-tier society, human service for those who can pay, synthetic service for everyone else. Now, the AI safety school might respond, but future systems will be much more powerful. Today's harms are real, but tomorrow's risks could be catastrophic. And that is not a trivial point. Bad actor risks are real, cyber risks are real, autonomous weapons are real, disinformation at scale is real. Biosecurity concerns should be taken seriously. Future AI systems may create risks we do not yet fully understand, but the AI ethics school pushes back against one move. Do not use speculative future catastrophe to erase present harm. Do not let fear of alien intelligence distract from corporate power. Do not let companies say, our system may become so powerful that it threatens humanity, and then avoid basic questions about training data, labor, copyright, bias, environmental cost and liability. Because existential risk language can do something strange. It can sound like caution, but it can also function as marketing. If a company says, our AI might become dangerous enough to change civilization, it is not only warning us, it is also telling investors. This is not ordinary software. It is telling governments. This is a strategic technology. It is telling the public. This is world historical. It is telling regulators. Only we understand this power. Fear becomes authority. Doom becomes branding, and safety becomes a word that may protect the company more than the public. So we should ask, safety for whom? Safety from what? Safety defined by whom? If safety only means protecting humanity from a future superintelligence, it is too narrow. Safety must also mean protection from discrimination, protection from exploitation, protection from surveillance, protection from misinformation, protection from unsafe automation, protection from data extraction, protection from systems that make decisions about people without accountability. The AI Safety School asks, what if AI becomes too powerful in the future? The AI Ethics School asks, who is already too powerful now? The first worries about bad actors and alien intelligence. The second worries about existing actors and institutional power. The first asks how to control the future machine. The second asks how to control the present institutions using the machine. Both questions matter, but they are not the same question. And if we only ask the first, we may miss the harms happening right in front of us. So what are AI risks? They are not one thing. They are not only killer robots. They are not only biased algorithms. They are not only superintelligence. They are not only copyright theft. They are not only hallucinations. They are not only job displacement. They are not only surveillance. AI risk is a bundle of technical, social, economic, legal, and political risks. Some are future risks. Some are present harms. Some come from machines becoming more capable. Some come from humans using imperfect machines irresponsibly. The real challenge is to keep both in view. Yes, ask what future AI might become, but also ask what present AI is already doing. Ask who controls it. Ask who profits from it. Ask who is harmed by it. Ask who gets to refuse it. And ask who is being told to trust the parrot. Because the parrot is stochastic. But the consequences are not random. They are social, they are economic, they are political, and they are already here.